Hello my friends and welcome to today's tarot readings. This is a general daily reading for all signs, but the sign that you're here probably means that there is a special message for you. So thank you so much for joining me today. So today is the 18th of September 2022. It is a Sunday, the day of the sun. And may I also say that Jupiter is finally retrograde. We were in a bit of a shadow of Mercury retrograde. Just to let you know, I'm sorry if you can hear that noise. Somebody's deciding to drill at this time, which is quite ridiculous. It's just the timing is really interesting. They must be hating working at this time, I must say. But anyway, must be some emergency work. But yes, we've got Mercury retrograde in Libra, which is opposite Jupiter retrograde in Aries. So we've got like this conversation that's happening that was the same as about 2 weeks ago. But with Mercury retrograde, you can review and rethink the words that were spoken in that moment from 2 weeks ago. You might realize that your speech was somewhat prone to misinterpretation, or maybe a little manipulative in what you said, 2 weeks ago. That it really needs to be reworked now. So what were you doing 2 weeks ago, my friends? What were you doing? What was happening? What conversations was going on right now at that time? Did you say things that you might not have meant? Did you say things to gain a certain outcome and then realize that you didn't really want that? Yeah, maybe think about that. Maybe think about the things that actually, took place afterwards. Because it's really interesting how we can have this time to really review and reflect upon what it is that we truly want. So yeah, just interesting to observe. Nothing really to take action on. I think it's just interesting. And with Sunday being the day of pure potentiality, I feel like there's this thing where we can just we can take the time to really nourish ourselves, but then that's also allowing us to really review what's going on. Okay, with that being said, let's see what the cards have to say for us today. No other major transits, but the moon is in Cancer. Dear Spirit, what messages would you like to communicate? It is waning in Cancer to the collective today. So we've got the Nine of Swords. So maybe you've been worried about like what's happening. You've been thinking about it a lot. Like there's been a lot on your mind. You've been trying to like ascertain like, wow, look at that, the Ten of Swords. So there's this thing where you've been really thinking about this ending, about the ending of something, and it's just been like, wow. It's been like, wow, sorry, excuse me, like what? Oh, and I'm just noticing I have a pucker tea and it says, if we give happiness to others, we will end up happy. If we give happiness to others, we will end up happy. Very interesting. If we give happiness to others, we will end up happy. If, when you're thinking about these thoughts, you're not giving away happiness, are you? You're thinking about worry, you're thinking about anxiety. And what I've just noticed here as well is that you've got the Five of Swords card here, which is defeat. That's really interesting. I just noticed that. You've got the Five of Swords card there in the corner. And then you've got, she's really distressed about what's going on. She can't sleep. So there is something that is really kind of worrying you. And it could be this thing where your mind is in a way catastrophizing what's actually happened. Because, it takes only one sword to kill a person, not 10. And we have 10 here. So there's a real worry. But on the other hand, I'm sorry, I'm just noticing I've got some stuff on my hand. But on the other hand, we've got a transition here. We've got a movement here. We've got 9 to the 10 of Swords. So something is happening here in the ability to be able to understand what this really means. How your thought processes go, which really work well with what I've just said with the Mercury retrograde opposite Libra retrograde in Aries. There's this thing where we're just really trying to make head or tail of it. We're trying to ascertain some kind of clarity about it, but it's very difficult. And sometimes when you get to the end of something, it's very difficult to find the clarity there. You just have to sit with it. Wow, you've got the sun, you've got the moon reversed. All right, moon reversed, and then you've got the Knight of Wands. We've got the Eight of Wands reversed. Such conflicting energy. This is doing my head in. And then we've got the Empress, and then we've got the Four of Wands. Whoa, I'm a bit confused. I mean, it seems to me that a situation that you thought, you thought was over, it actually isn't over. It's not over. It's not over. And I don't think that you're going to see much. It's weird. Like, you've got this Knight of Wands, which is this energy that just wants to come in, but then you've got this other energy, which is the Eight of Wands, which is like a delay. It's not allowing you to come in. It's not happening fast. And I think this is because there is some real dishonesty. Somebody is lying to themselves, like really, they're really lying to themselves. I mean, that's really interesting. They're two wolves with wolf heads. I like that. And the major arcana, number 18, 9. It's 9. So look at this, and it comes under the Nine of Swords. And there's a striving for some real clarity here. I mean, you've got the Empress, and I think the only thing I can see really here is by, like, if there is two parties here that are involved, one of the parties are actually just getting on with what they need to be getting on with. The other party is seeing this, and that it's kind of like sending them into this place where they're just like going a bit like nuts. And then they're like thinking, okay, well, I have to like do something in order to like make myself happy. Like the Empress is being happy as well. That's the only thing I can see, because this is such a conflicting reading. We've got the Nine of Swords, the Ten of Swords, the Sun, and the Four of Wands. What's going on here, universe? Can you help me out here, please? Because I'm a little bit confused. Judgment is reversed. Okay, that makes sense. Now I see what's happening. Okay, bleeding X, sorry. Hierophant, Empress, Moon, Sun, Judgment, 5 versus 5. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5, 5. So that means that it's just as much in control of, there's external influences and there's internal influence. The Knight of Swords is there. There's it's like people want to talk to each other, but nobody's actually like communicating with each other. Nobody's communicating what they need to be communicating with each other. That's what's going on right here. But it's... Do you know what's really interesting? I was like, is that a man or a woman? It looked a bit weird. I mean, I think that whatever is going on right now is happening for the best good for everyone right now. It really is. And it's because someone didn't make the call. It's because someone didn't decide to answer the calling. They decided that they weren't going to do that. They were like, right, no, I'm not going to do that. Or I'm not going to do it yet, I think. Or now isn't the right time. I think it's more that they didn't answer the call. There is a possibility that they may answer the call with that Knight of Wands and also the Knight of Swords. There is a possibility. Was it upright? No, it was reversed. So there is a possibility, but I don't see that. There is also the possibility with the Eight of Swords as well that it will change. But what I find really interesting here with this Four of Wands is that it's not a Four of Wands that's like your normal Four of Wands. It's a Four of Wands that has a lot of women in it. And a lot of scantily dressed women. So what that's saying to me is that what is your idea of happiness? Is it that you have lots of totty? Do you know what I mean? Is it like that you have like, you have this abundance of all these different females, all these different options, let's say, If you keep your options open, that means that you're happy. Is that what it is? Because it could be. It could be. That's the case. But you've got an Empress here. You've got an Empress here who's like... It seems to me like this Empress and this Hierophant is... there's an offer here of something really nice. Really, not really nice, but also really stable. You're not messing around with a queen. You're messing around with an Empress. You're like dealing with an Empress here energy. And you've also got the Hierophant as well. So there's a real committed, stable energy that's going on here with this creative energy. You've got this is the queen of all the queens. And there's also this opportunity to have that because you've also got the Sun as well. But there's something here that there's this kind of like, it's almost like the infringement on freedom, particularly with this Knight of Wands character. And because that Knight of Swords was reversed, it's almost like to say that, there's something here. And it could be a situation. It could be a situation at work or something, or a situation that's giving you some kind of fulfillment that really, I honestly see here, right, that you are getting what you asked for in the respect of your dreams. So there was something that you really wanted. You really, really wanted, and now you've decided, I don't know, something's gone on here. Like it's almost like, or maybe that you lied to yourself that you wanted that, But I don't see that. I don't know, like, I think it's maybe also that the happiness as well, like the happiness is confused, but they're not reversed. It seems to me like that the real idea of happiness isn't this, it's this. It's having the options open. It's having the choice. But it's strange because there's an underlying stability, and maybe that's the stability. Maybe that's the whole thing. But Judgment is reversed. So it says to me that the idea that this is the stability is actually, this is the stability against this, and this is a lack of being able to answer the call. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a confusion. And because there's an old thought pattern that's coming to an end. And it's the thought pattern that there's a certain idea of happiness. There's a certain idea of happiness. But then it's really understanding what makes one truly happy. And because these are so strong, there's an opportunity to see something that will truly make you happy. But it will involve some real learning. It will involve some real discipline. It will involve you having the courage to go back to yourself and really understand some things about yourself. And also going back to the drawing board. I feel like the Hierophant is like you listening to the fact that you may not have been right. That what you had thought before was not right, And this isn't about intuition, because your intuition is already there. And maybe your intuition wasn't correct. Maybe, because the thing is that some people think that they're listening to their intuition when really they're not listening to their intuition. They're listening to something else. So that's really interesting as well. They may have been listening to the energy in between their legs. You know what I mean? Like, which is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is impulsive. It's interesting how it's going towards the Hierophant though. But I think that's the way to go, because the Knight of Wands is the right way up. If the Knight of Wands was reversed, then it might be going towards the Four of Wands. And I mean, I don't see this as bad, but I'm just thinking that there's a skewed perception of like what is actually going to make me happy. And as I said, fair enough. If having variety and having like a sense of non-committal energy is what makes you happy, then that's all well and good. But I don't think that's the case. I think that's an illusion, because you've got Judgment reversed here, and the Moon is reversed. You can't get it more like clear than that, even though it's the most unclear card in the deck. But you've got like, you've got the Moon, and the Moon reverse says to me this lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. You're not listening to yourself. Okay, let's see what these cards are going to say. This is the Soul's Journey card. So I was reading with the Pulp Tarot. Soul's Journey. Oh, we've got 2 here. Wow, we've got courage and we've got blame. Look at those colours. Beautiful. So blame, I accept responsibility for my well-being. Courage, I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. You know, this is very much that, you know, that moon reversed is scary as F. It's so scary. It's the most scariest thing that you will come across. You know, the devil doesn't have nothing on the moon reversed. Like, you know, the 2 cards that I find quite intimidating in the deck, in the Rider-Waite, is the moon reversed and the Magician reversed. Those are the ones, and also the 7 of Swords. Because I feel like that's deceit and trickery to oneself and to others. And if you're doing that, that means you've got another agenda. I don't know what deceit you're doing. I don't know what, like, you know, it could be all levels. This also could mean, like, mental health as well. This also could mean, you know, mental health illness. So I think, you know, it's about really trying to understand yourself. And understand, like, what's making you go into these patterns of behavior, because that's what the 9 and 10 of Swords are about. They're about patterns of behavior, and you're not answering it. You're not. There's something that's saying that you're not doing it. You're not. No matter how much you think that whatever you're doing is right, it's not, because it can't be. Like, if because there's something that you're not answering the call to, and it's fine. You choose not to answer it at this time, but it will come back. It will come back. It will come back like a lesson again and again and again, because that's what karma does. Karma comes back round to teach you the lesson again, and the moon will do its cycle again and again and again. This is a karmic lesson, what's going on here in this, because with these 9 and 10 of Swords. And it's up to you whether or not you want to get back on the merry-go-round with the swords. And I'm not really keen on that. Generally, I don't think it's the best thing to do. But yeah. Wow, my friends, what an interesting reading. I'm really resonating with this reading. I'm kind of telling myself as I'm telling you. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more readings. And also, yeah, just have a beautiful day. Thank you so much to all of my returning subscribers who post in the comments. I really, really appreciate your being here and your love and everything. But yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'm just thinking if there's any other messages. I think these are the 2, you know, it's just, you know, and also take your time with this, you know, you might not be able to do it. And if you can't, that's fine. It's fine. You know, you just have to just get on with it. And then you just have to do the cycle again. But, you know, every time it should get easier. Anyway, I'm only laughing because it's like, I know this so well. I know it so well, and it's the constant journey of life, isn't it? Take care, my friends. Have a beautiful day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.